Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai. All praises and all honor and all glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and do well, to the elder apostles in Connecticut, to the bishops, the priests, the teachers, the evangelists, and the four winds, preaching the truth for sincerity, risking lives more now than ever, the hopeful elect. The elect, Shalom, to the Israelite foreigners whose phenotype may look like another nation, but bloodline goes back to Israel through your father and have come back to the fold. Shalom, to your sisters, you Akwathium, who listen and learn under your husband, which is your spiritual leader, with meekness and with silence. This your brother Aram Yahawada with the lesson. This is Korah, right? And then I was speaking to a gentleman when I was at work, and he was we were speaking to him, and I was like, yeah, man, he about to buy. He kind of came across that he had been reading Exodus and stuff like that, and we was kind of bringing back and forth, and then he came up with this thing that he said why Moses grew up in. Someone told him why the Lord had Moses grow up in Pharaoh's house. So I was like, I'm gonna look that up. And I was like, that sounds like great for a lesson. So here we are. Why did Moses grow up in Pharaoh's place? Said this, and then said this is there are different answers mentioned in the commentaries on the Torah. One is that since Moses was going to be leading the Hebrews, the power, Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai wanted him to learn how to be a leader by growing up in Pharaoh's place. See, and that's one thing we have to do. We have to start having a leadership mentality, man. And that's what the Lord wanted Moses to have. And that makes sense, though, that the guy was telling me. I'm like, wow, that's pretty good. It's good for a lesson, man. Let me try to see if I can find that, right? It says, power, Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai wanted him to learn how to be a leader by growing up in Pharaoh's place, surrounded by kings and his adversaries, right? So a king has a certain way. He has to rule this kingdom, this empire, which that's what Egypt was. Egypt was definitely an empire. Many other countries came to there to trade, buy, sell, do all sorts of different things. Even adversaries, people will come up against it because they envy the greatness that Egypt had, right? Or they maybe just didn't like the way Egypt was coming against them, the taxes or whatever that Egypt maybe having other people, pay tribute, and sometimes people don't agree with, with the authorities of the times or of any time, you know what I mean? Because people, what they say, power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. So when you got absolute power, most people they just do what they want to do because they have this power. See, that's going to be the difference between when we rule. It's not going to be a corrupt power, right? Right? Because the Lord's already fair. He's already allowed every society have their chance at rulership. So once we rule forever and ever and ever, and you ain't got nothing to say. You had your opportunity. So that in itself proves that the Lord is not corrupt. The Most High Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai is not corrupt. But it says, Slakia, Pharaoh's Place, surrounded by kings, adversaries, and another answer mentioned in the commentary of Abraham, Ibn Ezra or whatever. It says, Exodus chapter 2 verse 3 is that power, Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai wanted Moses to have the mentality of royalty. See, and that's ultimately what we need to have, is a royal mentality, man. And that's what the Lord wanted Moses to have, a royal mentality, right? It says where he would have a high self-esteem, right? Yeah, see, and that's ultimately what we gotta have. We gotta start having a higher self-esteem, and not as a lowly slave. See, where he would have a low self-esteem, right? And that's the thing that we battle with. So him being only in the Pharaoh's house, only growing up a certain way, he don't battle with the things that we battle with today, because we're battling with, you've been in the ghettos, the vadios, and the reservations, and you're battling with that the mentality of being basically a slave, being at a low level, right? Not having that high self-esteem of being a leader or a royalty, right? Because ultimately your royalty, that's what Yasha Allah mean. He, prince of God. You're a prince of God. You're a prince of the power, or a princess of the power, right? If you're a woman, you're a princess of the power. You're supposed to have a royal mentality in being a child of the Most High, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, the God of the Bible, God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, right? You're supposed to have a royal mentality. It says, yeah, not lowly as a slave, where he would have low self-esteem. Also, with that, he would be accustomed to having power and of responsibility to help people, which he would not have as a slave with no power. See, yeah. Once you're used to not being able to, and seeing, sometimes I notice brothers do that too. They'll get to the place where, oh well, we're behind the line now. We're already on this side, so I'm gonna abuse my power, right? We're already on this level, already on this side, so I'm already the camp leader, so I'm gonna abuse my power. You know what I mean? And that happens too. And that's still part of what, like a slave mentality. You get a little bit of something, and instead of using it the way the Most High orchestrated for you to use it, you're gonna use it to abuse the people, or you're not gonna use it at all, because you're just a low self-esteem type of person. I just can't. I don't know if I could do it, right? Says another answer mentioned. Oh wait, Shalakia. Let me go back up. Help people in wood and power. That this is why Moses felt he had authority. Oh yeah, to kill an Egyptian taskmaster, right? So you gotta understand, you gotta have a royal mentality, man. You have a leadership mentality. You have an authoritative mentality, right? As a slave, he would never have risked it, right? Oh man, I'm too scared. I can't do that, you know, right? Another answer mentioned is that the power Yahweh Shem Shai wanted Moses to grow up away from the other Hebrews, so that they would not not know him, and would respect him more than when he was introduced as their leader, right? Which makes sense. That's how all you niggas are, man. You so-called black, Hispanic, and Native Indians, you know, ghettos, the hoods, the vadios, the reservations, no matter what. If you grew up around, oh, I know him. Oh, I know that nigga from down there. I know where mama and them and his grandma, I know that nigga right there. I went to school with that nigga. I ain't gotta listen to him. Oh, man, ASA, man, I know Vato. He ain't no big deal, huh? I ain't gotta listen to him, right? You know? Oh, man, I know him, man. He grew up over there he lived on the other side of the res. I know, man. I listen to him, man. I know his brother. You know what I'm saying? I went to juvie with his brother, man. That brother ain't nobody, man. Yeah, his brother was a little punk in juvie, you know. I knew him when he lived on the other side of the res. You know what I mean? All these other different things. You don't gotta listen to this guy, right? But the Lord set him. The Lord, the Most High Yahweh, right? The one who has the true power, man, set him up as a leader. But you're looking at him like, I ain't gotta listen to you. See, but some dude could pop out of nowhere, like Barack Obama popped out of nowhere, and everybody was, oh yeah, let's go vote for this guy when he was no help to you, and he's not even an Israelite. He's not even of your own people. Kamala Harris popping out of nowhere, even though she's vice president this whole time. Where was she at the whole time? This chick is basically popping out of nowhere. They're about to get ready to vote this woman in the presidency, and no one know her policy, don't know what she stands for, don't know anything. The first thing she stands for is talking about killing babies, man. And that's it. That's the first thing you talk about is killing babies? That is insane. But let me see. Keep going. Risky. Yeah, would have not respected him. You know what I mean? As a lead, and if he grew up among them, he would be treated by them as just another friend or one of the boys. So yeah, he's just another nigga in the hood. It's just another boy from the hood. Boys in the hood. I ain't gotta listen to him. He's just, hey, that's a little old fucking Vato over there. I ain't gotta listen to him. He's just another boy he's just from the hood, man. I ain't gotta listen to him, man. Right? That they grew up with that they grew up with an Hebrews of his peers would not respect him, right? As the power Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai wanted them to. Yeah, you wouldn't respect them as the Most High wanted him to. There are other answers, but I cannot recall. Right? Yeah, so this is Exodus chapter 2, verse 10. And the child grew, and she brought him to Pharaoh's daughter, right? And he became her son, right? So this is Moses. So if you go back up to the beginning of the chapter, it tells you, how his mother, put him in a basket, weaved, and pushed him through the river, and then, because they were slaughtering all the sons of Israel, and so his mother put him in a basket so he didn't get killed, and pushed him up the river, and Moses, the Pharaoh's daughter, found him, and after they found him, of course, she got nursed, whatever. Now he grew up, he got a little bit bigger. Time for him to, so they brought him back after they weaned him off the milk, right? And then this must have been the time that the mother was teaching him about his people and who they were. Because I always never understood, as a kid, how did he know that these were his people? Because he was nursed by his own mother. So his mother was teaching him, oh, you're an Israelite, you're a Hebrew, you're this, that, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, teaching him the law, statutes, commandments of the Bible as a young child. But then he also grew up in Pharaoh's house too, or Pharaoh's place, right? And so, right, because right here when it says, it says, and the Pharaoh's daughter came down to wash herself at the river, and her maidens walked along by the river side when she saw the ark, right? Which that's a symbol of the ark, Noah's ark, symbol like salvation, right? Among the flags, she went. She 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 sent her maiden to fetch it, right? So that was the basket. And when she had opened it, she saw the child, and behold, a baby wept, was crying, right? And that's similar too, right? Because that's what we're doing. We're trying to get on that spiritual arc, and while we're doing that, we're weeping, we're crying, we're complaining, we're talking about all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. We're talking about all the abominations, man. Right? We're weeping, you know. I says, and she had compassion, right? And that's ultimately what the Most High is going to have on us, Lord willing, you know. It's compassion on him, and said, "This is one of the Hebrew children." Hebrews children, right? Then said his sister, because that was actually Moses' sister, was one of her handmaids who worked for her. He said, then said the sister to Pharaoh's daughter, "Shall I go and call thee a nurse of the Hebrew women, that she may nurse the child for thee?" It says, and the Pharaoh's daughter said to her, "Go." And the maiden went and called the child's mother, right? Which was her mother. She had the same mother as Moses, right? And of course, you know, she nursed them, and during that time, and then they were paying her too. It says, and the Pharaoh's daughter said to her, "Take the child away and nurse it for me, and I will give thee a wage." So they were paying her. They were paying Moses' mom to nurse her child. It was her child in the first place, which is crazy. That's crazy how the Lord does some things, man. Hey, man, beautiful. Call all you Yahweh Shem Shai. And the woman took the child and nursed it. So this must have been the time that Moses was taught in the ways of the Hebrews, taught in the ways of Israel, right? During that time, you know, during the time of him growing up, being nursed. And says, and the child grew. She brought him unto Pharaoh's daughter, and he became her son. So now, say, hey, look, okay, this is your son now. Got him. But before that, we were teaching them in all the ways of the Hebrews, letting them know that this is your mother, I'm your sister, blah, 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 which was Miriam, right? Miriam was his sister, right? It says, and she called his name Moses, and she said, because I drew him out of the water, right? And that drawing of the water is what going on is it's like another thing of saying slavery. So she brought him out of that because there's a place, it's called a place of drawing water, right? Slavery, right? Yeah. So this is Acts chapter 7 verse 22. And Moses was learned in all the wisdom of the Egyptians, and was mighty in the words and in deeds, right? So then he, you know, that's the part where he learned to be what? A leader. He learned how to have a royal mentality. He learned the responsibilities of being able to have that authority, and being able to direct and tell people what needs to be done in order to help people, to have the authority to say what that, you know, that he had the authority over the taskmasters, right? So, and it's going to go into that. It says, and when he was full 40 years old, it came into his heart, which is mine, Lob is mine, to visit his brethren, right? So how did he know that they were his brethren? Because he got taught that when he was nursed by his mother. Why the Pharaoh's daughter was paying the mother to nurse him? She he was being taught that, hey, you're an Israelite, I'm your real mother, but you're gonna go back to the Pharaoh's daughter, and you're gonna be her son for some time. But I'm your real mother, and these are your real people. So how did he know that? That had to be what had to be taught to him. You know what I mean? So that's how he knew. You know. And then it said came into his mind, right? So that was the Most High working with him, because nothing comes into your mind unless the Most High puts it there, especially if something of grave importance, right? Because sometimes Satan put things in your mind, which still comes from the Most High ultimately. The Most High allowed it to happen to see if you're going to stumble or slip, and fall into to your own calamities, your own doom, you know. Or the Lord could put thought in your mind through the angel, through a righteous angel, and it be for righteousness, right? So, and that's what it is. Put in his heart, mind, lob, heart, to visit his brethren, the children of Israel. So he knew that these was his brothers, right? Because he was taught by his mother, he was taught by his sister, right? And seeing one of them suffer wrong, he defended him and avenged him that was oppressed, right? See, and that's what it said about him having that authority, a royal mentality, an authoritative mentality, that even the so-called authorities, he felt like he had the power, he had the authority himself, right? So he avenged him that was oppressed and smote him, which means to kill. Killed the Egyptian, right? For he supposed his brethren would have understood how that the power, the Most High Yahweh, by his hand would deliver them, but they understood not. See? And that's telling you right there, that's a royal mentality. That's a mentality that they didn't understand, because they had a slave mentality. He was showing you, look, I have authority. Like, I'm not like you. I'm not gonna just kill my own brothers and march around Capitol Hill saying, well, no justice, no peace. But you know who you're not giving any peace to? Your own brethren, right? You know who you'll forgive? The so-called white man could kill, or a so-called white woman to bust in your house while you're eating a bowl of cereal and shoot you. You know what you'll say? I forgive her. You go in there, you give her a Bible, saying that's okay, but let that have been a so-called black man, a so-called Hispanic man. You'd have had no mercy, no peace for him. That's who you would have had no mercy and no peace for, right? Not understanding, which you should understand, for and foremost, more than anybody. We grew up in the ghettos, the vadios, the reservations, and they have all sorts of miseducation, all sorts of things that leads us into the wrong. Why wouldn't you show compassion on your own brother like that? But you would show compassion on these goddamn Edomites for that, you know? Who they should know better, right? They're in the hierarchy, in a higher situation. They should know better than to do something like that, right? Yeah. So this is Exodus chapter 2, verse 11, and it came to pass in those days. So, and when we read in the New Testament, it said that he was fully 40 years old. So this is that same time, in those days, when Moses was grown, right, about 40 years old, when the Lord said it came into his mind that or into his heart, which means mind, he went out unto his brethren and looked on their burdens, and he spied an Egyptian smiting in Hebrew, right, killing a Hebrew. He killed another Hebrew, killing in Hebrew one of his brethren. So he killed him, smiting him, right, killed him, right. And this angered Moses, right? And he looked this way and that way. When he saw that there was no man, he slew the Egyptian. So he killed him. He killed one of my brothers. I'm gonna kill you. See, and that's a royal mentality. That's a leadership mentality, right? That's authoritative mentality, right? And it said that he did that so that they may know that the Lord had made him a deliverer of his people, saying, hey, you got the right to revolt and come against these people instead of being subject to these people just being able to just kill you and nothing being done, right? But it said that lower mentality, that slave mentality, watch right here, and slew him, and slew the Egyptian, and hid him in the sand. When he went out the second day, see, behold, which means feast your eyes, look, pay attention. 2 men of the Hebrews strove together, and he said to him, why did this wrong? Why are you doing wrong to this guy? You know you in the wrong, man. Why would you keep doing this? The Egyptian just went on here and slew the brother, and you didn't do a damn thing. And it's almost the same. This is how you know that you are the same people. This is how we know that we're in spiritual Egypt, because the exact same thing goes on. The taskmasters represent the police, right? And represents this society, this so-called hierarchy of a society that's supposed to be over us. But as the police and as this society beats down on us, none of you so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians do anything, right? But you know what you'll do? You'll sit there and you'll strive with one another. This is my hood. This is my block. This, that. You strive with them over some type of woman, right? Over buying clothing, cars, liquor, beer, whatever. You strive over these other things, but you won't strive knowing that this place is wicked, man, right? Saying, so it says, why do this wrong? Why did this wrong? Wherefore smite thus thy fellow. Smite thy fellow. Why are you trying to kill? Why are you trying to kill your own fellow brother? Right? Why are you trying to kill your own fellow brother? But you seen what happened the other day and you did nothing. Right? Right? And it's going to prove it that they seen it right here. He said, who made thee a prince? And who made thee a prince and a judge over us? Well, first of all, the Most High made him a prince. And is he not the son of Pharaoh's daughter? That in itself makes him a prince. But see, Jake, because he think he's familiar with you. It's who made you a prince? Saying this is why it was saying that the Lord made sure that he grew up away from them, so that when it is known that he is the leader, that much more of them will actually respond to him actually being the leader than not. But he's technically in the land of Egypt in itself. That's not even what the Most High, because you know the Most High is in spirit. So a lot of brothers is not spiritual, right? Even though they're Israelites, there's a lot of Israelites who are not spiritual. So they can't see that he's a prince, because he just slew the Egyptian the other day, which proves that he's a prince. But okay, is he not the prince of Egypt? Not one of the princes of Egypt? Of course he is. What do you mean who made him a prince? Don't make sense, right? But this is the mentality, because they're too familiar, right? You just another nigga. You just another boy in the hood, right? So it says, they say, who made thee a prince and a judge over us? Intended, see right here you go, intended intendest thus to kill me, as thus killed the Egyptian. See, so he knew. So the Egyptian was over there smiting his own brother. The Egyptian was doing all sorts of things, smacking him up, this and that, doing all sorts of things right in front of them. They didn't do a damn thing. But then they over there fighting each other. So this proves that this is you so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians, man. This proves that we have to be those people, man. Because you're striving, because you can't, that will never happen amongst so-called white people. Right? That will never happen amongst these so-called Chinese people or any of these other people. Right? Because let that happen too many times. You are going to see Chinese people with guns and all sorts of things, and you're gonna call they're gonna call the Chinese government, and the government is gonna be like, hey, we're gonna wage war on you. You let that? Why do you think they passed the so-called Asian hate bill? It ain't because they give a damn about Asians. Cause hey, these people will bring that drama on them, right? But you gonna watch it, see them slam another Jake on the ground, slam another Israelite woman on the ground, and it ain't gonna be nothing. You ain't gonna do nothing. You ain't gonna do a damn thing, right? You ain't gonna go talk to the Justice Department, all this other different places. They're gonna tell you to vote. You're just gonna vote, and you're not gonna get anything out of it. All these other people, they vote or they don't vote, but somehow they're reaping a lot of benefits, right? And one thing is having a nationality. You can't call yourself black because black is not a nationality. Right? Black means you're dead already. Right? But in a slave mentality, man, who made thee a king and a prince over, who made thee a prince and a judge over us? Intended thus to kill me, as thus killed the Egyptian? Right? But when you read the other thing, the Lord say he allowed that to happen to show that this guy was going to deliver them. That he's different than all the rest of them. That there's something that the Lord is putting different in the earth. You're not just gonna accept the status quo, right? And Moses feared and said, "Surely this thing is known." So yeah, this one Moses had to, break wide, kick rocks. You know what I'm saying, bust a pattern and get up out of there, man. Yeah, so this is Judges chapter 5, verse 9. It says, my heart, right, Lab, mine, which is the Most High, is towards the governors of Israel that offer themselves willingly among the people. Bless ye Yahweh, right? And that's ultimately what the Lord said, that you will judge. Well, they told the apostles that there will be the 12 judges judging the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel, but also what? The elect, the 144,000, right, will also be what? Judges or governors, right, over the people of Israel, right? And it's going to be the ones who offer themselves, right, a living sacrifice, right, unto this thing of ours, right, amongst our people, right, as living sacrifices, right? And the Lord said you'll be blessed in that way, that you'll be judges, right? But the Lord said, you know what I mean? So it says, speak ye that ride on white asses, right? And that's what the Solomon rode on an ass, right? It's symbolizing that he was going to judge Israel in a right manner, as a right judge. And Solomon, being Yahushai, or Yahushai, Solomon, or Yahushai was Solomon in the reincarnation, coming back as Yahushai, rode on an ass, and he was bringing forth what? Righteous judgment, right? And that's what you have to do as a righteous judge. You can't be in a position where it's, because you're rich, you can give me money on the table, and I'll give you a slap on the wrist, and you don't really get that stiff punishment because you're rich. Or You look at it like, well, these people are poor, so I have to have compassion for the poor, so I'm going to give them the slap on the wrist because you're poor. And you should understand that they're poor, and they need to get the slap on the wrist because they're poor. And you get the stiff punishment because you're rich, because you should know better, which, in a sense, in some aspect, that's true. But it can't be like that. It has to be righteous judgment. It has to be equal judgment. Whatever penalty you get, that's whatever crime you commit, that's the penalty that you get. Period. There's no just because you're rich or because you're poor. There's no discrepancy about the whole situation. The punishment is the punishment. The penalty is the penalty, and that's it. Right, righteous judgment. Right. Ye that sit in judgment and walk by the way. See. It's all for proper judgment. I can't let you escape because you're rich, and I can't let you escape through just because you're poor. I have to give, whether you're rich or poor, I have to give you the right judgment for whatever crime you commit or whatever sin you commit. Right? It says they that are delivered from the noise of archers. Right, and the noise of archers in these days are going to be the ICBM missiles, and we went through different captivities, the Syrian captivity, the Babylonian captivity, and separate captivities. But this last captivity, we were oppressed together here in Babylon the Great, the daughter of Babylon, where the Israelites are oppressed together, unlike those other the Jewish people, the small hats say that Ephraim is in America and Manasseh somewhere else, and then Levi and Simeon is not even on the same landmass according to their so-called chart that they have, right? When it says that they were going to, according to the scriptures, said they're going to be on the same landmass and they were going to be at odds with each other. See, we're oppressed together here in Babylon the Great, here in America, because there's Simeon, there's what is it? Simeon, Levi, Judah, Benjamin, Ephraim, Manasseh, Gad, Issachar, all the tribes are here. Asher, they're all here in America, Babylon the Great. Right? Awaiting that great judgment, those ICBM missiles, that noisome archers, man, from them ICBM missiles, where we need to be delivered from. Right? In the place of drawing water, in the place of our slavery, our bondage. And you're still in slavery and in bondage because why? You're known as a debt slave, right? Right? Your birth certificate, your driver license, all those things are bondage notes. These are bondage, right? Even the ones that don't. Once you come here, they're gonna find a way, right? Which that's what's gonna come into this this Operation Warp Speed is gonna be a way to say, hey, you got here. But now in order to be here, you gotta get this charagma. You gotta get upon this something ID, speedy ID, some type of ID which is gonna eventually lead to the MOTB, which is the mark of the beast, which is the chip, which is the RFID chip. Soon enough, right? So it says and that's what we got to be delivered from, right? And this time, we got to be delivered from the ICBM missiles and the RFID chip. It says, place of drawing water, they shall rehearse the righteous acts, and that's ultimately what's going to get you, get you through, right? Right, understanding, rehearsing the righteous acts of Yahweh. Even the righteous acts towards the inhabitants of his valley in Israel shall the people of Yahweh go down to the gates. And that's ultimately what we're doing now by preaching, facing the east, praying, facing the east, praying, chanting down Babylon, the daughter of Babylon, right? Pointing out our people's sins, saying, hey, you got to straighten up, right? Get your mentality right. Have a royal mentality. Have a leadership mentality. Have an authoritative mentality. right? Because you can't just let your sins rule over you. You can't let your sins rule you down, right? Right? Because we're not telling you to put your hands on anybody, like Moses did. That was different situation, because our battle's not against flesh and blood. Our battle's spiritual. Our warfare, our battles and war, our weapons of war are not spiritual. Our weapons of war is just these scriptures. So that's what we use as weapons, right? So awake, awake, oh Deborah, awake, awake, utter a song at arise, Barak, right? Which means bless, right? Lead the captivity captive, right? Get us up out of this situation. That's what he's saying. Take us back. It's basically saying, take us back to the land. Take us back to you, Deborah. Take us back to the land. Take us back to the land of Israel, right? Because that's what's going on. Thy sons of Abinom. Then he made him that remaineth have dominion over the nobles among the people, and Yahweh Bashem Yahushai made me have dominion over the mighty, right? So that's ultimately what we're going to have dominion over this whole entire earth, but we got the nobles, meaning what? Nobility, having a royal mentality, right? And that's a place where we got to get to. So that's the way the Lord raised Moses in the Pharaoh's house, to have a leadership mentality, a royal mentality, authoritative mentality, right? Right? So you got to know that you have authority within this scripture, within this word, within the Bible. It gives you authority, right? So with all that, I'm going to give all praises and all honor and all glory unto Yahweh, Ba'asham, Yahweh Shai, Ba'asham, Rakakwadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and do well, to the elder apostles in Connecticut, the bishops, the priests, the teachers, the evangelists, and the four winds, preaching the truth for sincerity, risking your lives more now than ever, the hopeful elect, Shalom, to the Israelite foreigners who phenotype may look like another nation, but bloodline goes back to Israel through your father and have come back to the fold, Shalom, to you sisters, you Akwathium, who listen and learn under your husband, which is your spiritual leader, with meekness and with silence, and a ball. Yeah, so this is Judges chapter 5, verse 9. My heart is towards the governors of Israel that offer themselves willingly among the people. Bless ye Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahushai, right? So you got to be willingly to give up your body, which that's in Romans. That's in Romans chapter 12, verse 1. It says, I beseech you, which means I plead you, I beg of you, right? You brethren, I beseech you, therefore, you brethren, by the mercies of the power, the Most High, Yahweh Ba'asham Yahushai, that ye present yourselves a living sacrifice. See that you give yourselves, right? And that's what willingly, right? As a living sacrifice. Going out to the highways, the byways, the digital epistles. We're giving ourselves over for the people, for our people, not for the whole world, but for our people, right? For the Israelites, right? Right? Presenting your body a living sacrifice, wholly acceptable unto the power, Yahweh Ba'asham Yahushai, which is your reasonable service. It's your reasonable service. It's what the reasonable thing that you should do, right? It's a reasonable thing for you to do, right? Matter of fact, it's going to go into, it says, and be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. See, and it's a reasonable sacrifice for you to renew your mind from a slave mentality to a leadership mentality, to a royal mentality, to an authoritative mentality, right? That's your reasonable service. You must do that, right? that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of Yahweh. And that's the Lord's will, for you to have a, a royal, or a leadership, a royal and authoritative mentality, right? Come back here to the Judges chapter 5. Let's go down to verse 10. It says, speak ye that ride on white asses, right, that sit in judgment and walk by the way. So, just like Yahushai, well, really, you can go back to all the way back to Solomon. Solomon rode on David's ass, right, to prove that he was the king, right, the king of Israel, right. He told him, ride the king's ass, and show him a declaration that no, it's not Absalom that's the king, it's Solomon, right. And then Yahushai did the same thing, which, if you understand that Yahushai was King Solomon, and a greater than Solomon was amongst us, right? Which is Yahushai, right? In judgment. Matter of fact, it says Revelation chapter 1 verse 5, from Yahushai Hamashiach, right? Because the letter J is only 400 to 500 years old. There's no E's in Hebrew, in the Paleo Hebrew. So, who is the faithful witness and the first begotten of the dead, right? And that's another thing. That's where he was greater than Solomon. Solomon never rose back up from the dead. He never came back. He died. Once he died, he didn't raise up again, right? And another thing is, the Lord said that Solomon will be chastened of men, right? He'll be chastened with the whips of men, and that never happened to Solomon. So who did it happen to? It happened to Yahushai, which proved that he was Solomon, right? And it proved that a greater than Solomon was amongst us, right? Right? And then he came back from the dead, the first begotten of the dead, and the prince of the kings. See, and just like Moses did become the prince, right? Moses was the prince of the people, and it said he's the prince of the kings. So he's a ruler over the kings, which the Lord said that we're kings, right? And then even these rulerships, these other these heathen, right? You have the so-called, what do they call, presidents and prime ministers and this and that. They're rulers, things over them. Well, those are supposed to be kings, but the Lord is a ruler. Yahushai is a ruler even over their kings and over us, right? It says the prince of kings, right? So he's a ruler over all kings of the earth, right? See, over all the earth. If you're a prince, and you're a king or whatever, you're a ruler in your the Lord is a prince over you. Means he's in rulership over you. Yeah, unto him that love us and washed us from our sins in his own blood. See, hey, you can't get no greater than that, man. The Lord washed us, the Israelites, right? Those who gave forth their own body, right? Who gave forth themselves willingly, or gave forth their own body as a living sacrifice, right? And had made us kings, right? See, and priests unto the power Yahweh Bashem Yahushai and his Father. To him be the glory, what, and dominion, right? See, we're going to rule this world, man. What, with the royal mentality, with a leadership mentality, with a royal mentality, with the authoritative mentality, right? Forever and ever. See, Amen. So we're going to be in rulership. So it says, this is Judges chapter 5 verse 11. So when the Lord makes us kings and priests, you're going to have the ability to judge, right? Righteous ability to judge. It says they that are delivered from the noisome archers, right? Which would be the ICBM missiles, right? Because that's going to make a great noise, man. When those missiles, once those buttons be pushed from all the these so-called kings and these militaries from around the world, right? It's going to make a great noise, in the place of drawing water, which is where Babylon the Great, mostly where we're at, which the place that's going to be turned into the lake of fire. That's the main place where we have to where we have a need to be delivered from, right? Which the Lord delivered us from other different captivities, right? You know what I mean? You know, the Syrian captivity, which is the northern kingdom, the Babylonian captivity, but then we end up, because the northern kingdom left the Syrian captivity and came to Arzareth, right? Another land where no man dwelt, and then we fled from Jerusalem in 70 A.D. into the interiors of the world, right? Europe. We fled into Europe. We fled into Africa. We ruled Europe for 1,000 years. We were in Africa for over 1,000 something years before the Lord loosed Esau out of you know, out of his his prison, right? Right, and then to what, deceive the world again, to rule, deceive the world again, and then now we're at the place where we're oppressed together, right? Judah and Ephraim are oppressed together, and Babylon the Great, the daughter of Babylon, right? So it says, drawing water, right? Which place of drawing water is slavery, and this is our slave. We're still slaves. There shall they rehearse the righteous acts, and that's where we're rehearsing at here. And the daughter of Babylon, Babylon the Great, right? Spiritually Nineveh, spiritually Egypt and Sodom, and also Basra, right? Right, because it's the chief place of Esau, and then this chief place of Esau has to go down, and then even the heathen do not understand that once this place goes down, that even their power is going to go down. Like Russia, they're adamant about coming against America, but don't know that that's the end. Once America destroyed, that's the end of you too, right? So it says, rehearsing the righteous acts of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, even the righteous acts towards the inhabitants of his valleys in Israel, right? That's talking about the land, and that land has to be cleansed by the ICBM missiles first before we can get there. And once the new Jerusalem come down from heaven, right, out of the chariots, right, shall the people of Yahweh go down to the gates, saying that's when we're coming out of the chariots, right? Well, after everything's all, burnt up, cleaned up from the nuclear missiles, everything, and now we have to come down and have that rulership and clean up everything, you know what I mean? And then, the land is going to start flourishing. So that's what it's going to say. Awake, awake, Deborah. Awake, awake. Utter a song. Arise, Barak. See, that's crazy. They even put an actual real Hebrew word, which means bless. And they put it right, Barak. Lead thy captivity captive. See, we're gonna take off that slave mentality, right? That captive mentality. We'll have a leadership, a royal mentality, an authority mentality. We're gonna put it off. Not gonna happen no more. The son of Abinum, right? Then he made him that remaineth have what? Dominion. See, that's what what the Lord is going to have, dominion, and that's what He's going to give us, right? As those who gave up themselves willingly, who sacrificed their body as a living sacrifice, even though it was our reasonable duty. I mean, who else was doing what the prophets would do? Whoever was doing what the men of the Most High, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, is supposed to do. But those men that the Lord has chosen, who has given them, right? The Most High has given Yahweh Shai, and then made him that remaineth have dominion over the nobles. So we're gonna have dominion over these other nations, man, over their kings, just like it was said about Yahweh Shai. He's gonna have rulership. He's the prince of the kings. But we're also going to have rulership over these kings, over these nobles, over their rulership, right? Over their nobility, right? Right? We'll have rulership over the nobles, dominion over the nobles among their people, right? So we're going to rule over these other nations, man. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai made me have dominion over the mighty. See? So all their mighty armies, they're this and that, all these mighty people. We're going to have what dominion means, meaning rulership, man, over all these people, man. Right? Yeah, so this was we have dominion over their mighty. And so, this is back in the day when we were coming out of the Exodus, when we were coming out of Exodus to get the land the first time out of Egypt, the first time in this. Now this is going to be us, coming out of Egypt the second time, which is spiritually Egypt. So we're gonna have that dominion all over again, and the land is gonna sing again once we're back in that land once again, once it's cleaned up from all from the World War III, right? For the last war of all wars, right? So this verse is actually talking about us coming from out of Egypt the first time with Moses, which is having that royal mentality, man. We have to have that. You know what I mean? And this time we're gonna really have that royal mentality, that dominion that the Lord set it up for us to really actually have. See, because a lot of our people murmured in the wilderness with Moses, which didn't allow all of Israel to be saved like it should. But the elect is going to be saved so that all of Israel can be saved. So with all that, I want to give all praises and all honor and all glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and do well, to the elder apostles in Connecticut, the bishops, the teachers, the evangelists, and the four winds, preaching the truth with sincerity, risking your lives more now than ever, the hopeful elect, the elect, Shalom, to the Israelite foreigners whose phenotype may look like another nation, but bloodline goes back to Israel, through your father, and have come back to the fold, Shalom, to your sisters, you Akwathim, who listen and learn under your husband, which is your spiritual leader, with meekness and with silence, and a Baba Kwame Yasharallah.